Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Sims 4 video. Today we are doing our first mod review, and I figured it was only fair if I do one of my favorite mods in the Sims 4 modding community, which is the Realistic Childbirth mod by PandaSama. This is a great mod to enhance a lot of the pregnancy interactions in the Sims 4. I feel like if you play vanilla Sims 4, there's not really much if your Sim is pregnant. It's very kind of overlooked, I feel like, in the Sims 4 community. And this mod adds a ton of new realistic stuff to your gameplay. So let's dive in. To start off with some of the features within this mod, you have a couple new early pregnancy interactions that you can do with your friends, family, and significant others, as well as taking a realistic pregnancy test and having realistic ultrasound scans that you can go to. And with each trimester, you get a different photo aligning up with that trimester, so that adds a little bit of realism into the game as well. You also have new ways on how to deliver your new bundle of joys in The Sims 4. You can have a natural birth at the hospital, a C-section, you can have a home birth, and a water birth as well at home. They also added in a new lactation update within this mod as well, which we'll be going over in today's gameplay. But let's hop into the game so you guys can see how this mod works and let me know how you feel about it. As you can see, we are back in game. I'm so excited to show you this mod. I did go ahead and download a house from the gallery, and I got this couple off with gallery as well. I just don't like the base game houses, so I had to upgrade it. But we've got a little kitchen over here. We've got the nursery, our bedroom, which I ended up having to extend the room because it was so small you couldn't fit a bed in there. And I was like, what? I was like, how did they even get a bed in here in the first place? But anyways, she needs to become pregnant, so we're gonna go have them woohoo. And I was debating whether to do this off camera or not because, you know, privacy. But we'll just do it now. So they're gonna woohoo. But after they're done, we can take the pregnancy test and then see if she's pregnant. So, which I hope she is, because you never know. I had to expand the house because she couldn't use the restroom. But she's taking a pregnancy test. And for those of you who don't want you can like get a mod to uncensor it so you can actually see what they're doing. She's pregnant. Thank God. So now here comes the cool part where they will actually have like, she's gonna tell him real quick that she's pregnant, but you're able to actually go into you're able to go into the romance category and hit share pregnancy news. And this is one of those early pregnancy interactions that I was telling you guys about right here. She's like showing him the test. It's so freaking cute. I can't. And he's excited, and there's different reactions, you know. Maybe your Sim's upset that she's pregnant, or maybe the dad's upset that they're pregnant, so they'll give off like a negative reaction. So there's more than just one interaction for it. Adds a little bit of more of that realistic gameplay. But now that we've already told him that we're pregnant, let's go and get an ultrasound. So how you do this is go on your phone in your little Sims game, and I believe it's under the traveler. No, I think it's under this home section, because that's also where you will decide how you give birth. You got to call your obstetrician, and then you just hit that button and call them. I'm gonna give her a minute. And now here is where you can choose all the different options. So if you came in here and you weren't sure what to do yet, you could hit never mind. You still have the option for the surgery machine, but like, why would you do that if you have all these different options? But right here, you go and click get an ultrasound, and that will bring you to the hospital to have that ultrasound done. So let's go ahead and do that. And then hit let's go. And you can take anyone of your friends or family members or whoever you want to bring, you can bring. I think you can only bring up to one person though, so just be careful. Don't invite the entire family. Okay, so we're at the hospital, and what you'll need to do, because obviously this hospital is with the get to work pack in the Sims, so you have to go in and click. If you're on, I'm on Windows, by the way, like I'm on PC. So you just click Control-Shift-C at the same time, and this white bar will appear on your screen right here. And what you do is just click, you put in bb.enable free build, and then hit enter. And now you can build on these plots. You can download new hospitals. You can do this anywhere that you can't, that's locked. You can use that cheat and you'll be able to free build anywhere. It's a great little life hack. But then you're gonna go into build mode, and I normally use this room for some reason. I don't know why, but I always use this room, and you're gonna sell this, don't worry, because you need to put in this ultrasound machine in your game in order for the ultrasound portion to work. If you don't do what I just showed you, it's not gonna work and you won't be able to get those ultrasounds. And then you just use those same buttons with the Control Shift and C. It should be the same on Mac, I'm pretty sure. So there shouldn't be any difference on that, but just make sure you click it all at the same time or else you will get 1,000 screenshots. But now that we're at the hospital, you go ahead and click on the little ultrasound thing. And the great thing about this is if you wanted to keep it a surprise, you can totally do that and hit the ultrasound preference. And so now that you've clicked it, it'll come up with this little questionnaire asking what you want. You can click, no, I want to keep it a surprise, or yes, please. The only downfall that I find with this is you could click surprise, but you have to do it every time you get an ultrasound. Like, so if you're like me and will go every day because Sims are pregnant for 3 days in The Sims. So it's like each day they're like in a different trimester. And if you're like me and go all 3 days to get an ultrasound, you'll have to keep on clicking this. And it's, so we're just going to hit yes, please, because I don't really care. And then hit start ultrasound scan, and these are your available doctors at the hospital. You can really click whomever. I'm just going to click the first one. But also to mention, your Sim does get a little buff from sharing their pregnancy news. They were both really happy about it, so obviously their buff is going to be happy. But if your Sim is upset, they're going to get, a different buff. So now they're going in for their ultrasound scan. I don't know where Paul is, but he should be with the ultrasound. He should be in there. I don't know where he is. They have a whole animation. Now be careful because they will choose a random thing. And if you have CC like I do, sometimes they will show up with the wonkiest shirts ever. She's supposed to have pants on. I don't know where they went. But it's so cool because it shows like this little animation of like a baby in the womb, and it'll tell you right here that you're expecting one healthy baby, and then it should pop up with the gender soon. Yeah, a baby girl is what they're having. So it looks like I'm gonna have to come back because Paul did not want to join. And if it ever happens in your game where your significant other, whoever you bring, is not joining them, you can click on your Sim and the one that's on the table and hit join with the Sim of choice. And then they should join, but she's almost done anyways, so there's really no point. Like, she's done. He missed it, so. Oh, now, he's supposed to sit down. This is what he's supposed to do, but he missed it, so. He's going to be a great father. And then you just leave. You leave. So once you get home, I would highly suggest going in your Sims inventory and finding a blank wall. Or any type of wall, wherever you want to put it. I'm just going to put it right here because that was the closest wall. And you get this little ultrasound scan. And with each trimester, like I said in the beginning of the video, there's like different photos of like the baby. And it's like it looks like a little peanut. It looks so cute, like a little blob. But I'm going to show you some more swatches of it because I don't think we're going to go back. I'm going to try and keep this not too short, but I don't want to make it repetitive. But you can also change them too. So if there's a certain scan that you want, you can change it. You cannot buy these though from build/buy mode. You have to go and get an ultrasound scan. So, but you just click on this little design tool. You can also click R for it on your keyboard and then click on it, and I'm just gonna hover over a few, like here's one of them, and then they have like they go up all the way to sextuplets. So 1 through 6. If your Sim is having 6 babies, do not fret. It'll pop up. So that's a lot of babies though, but I find with the multiple babies, like if you're doing like quadruplets, quintuplets, and sextuplets, it kind of stays the same. Like here's for like quintuplets, you can see like the 5 little heads. That is also a mod though that you will probably need. Like in base game Sims, like vanilla Sims, you can only have up to 3 kids, which I find is the perfect amount because they just added in infants. So no longer will your babies age up into toddlers where you can kind of just leave them alone for a little bit. But yeah, there's a tons of different swatches on here. It's so cool, and they're so cute too. So yeah, I mean, you have the opportunity to kind of make it however you want to make it. And then the other great thing about this too is you can click on this and buy a picture frame for it. And you can change the swatch of the picture frames as well. I'm probably not going to do that. But there's, you got like white, yellow, black, brown, pink, purple, green. I think there's like 10 swatches for it. That is that. And you can kind of put them anywhere you want in your house, but we're just going to put it up above this painting. So the other thing that I wanted to show you as well was some more early pregnancy interactions. And another one is to share like the news with your friends. So I don't know why I did this. I probably should have done this after I did it, but if you want to share it with your friends and family, make sure that one of the ultrasound scans is in your inventory. And I went and cheated her relationship with Summer already. So I just went on MC Command Center and cheated their relationship. So you can find the interaction in Friendly and then hit more choices. And it should be right there. And you can share your pregnancy news. So she's going to come over here, hopefully. And she's going to share the news and show the ultrasound photo. And then they'll get happy, hopefully. But it's just a cute little interaction. So like if you have like a baby shower or something like that, you can like tell your Sims family that you're pregnant and hopefully they get happy. I've never actually had a Sim get angry at me doing that interaction. So, and then when you're done, you can just put the ultrasound pack in your inventory. But a few other things to do, like to note with the early pregnancy interactions, is if you have a couch, your Sims can nap together, and it's a cute little interaction. Did they just... Yeah, here they go. But it's so cute. And they can also do it on the bed as well. They'll like lay down. And the other thing too is they can go into... Oh, they're kissing. They can go into the romance panel, and I believe it's probably under physical intimacy because... Yeah, they can pregnancy cuddle in the bed, which is another key. So they'll do that right now, hopefully. Yeah, but they'll lay in bed and they'll cuddle, and it's so cute. And they get these little buffs from it too. They also get a buff from the ultrasound scan right here of like the already in love. Now there are different ones, obviously. If your Sims have different views on having kids, maybe they don't want kids and they're not happy. If they have the hates child trait, then that'll be fun for you. That's kind of it for the early pregnancy interactions portion of it. And you can do this at any time in your pregnancy. I will say for the interactions, like for the sharing pregnancy news, you have to have a certain level of friendship as well as like romance levels in order to do certain things. So if you're trying to tell someone that maybe you just met, it might not give you the option to tell them that you're pregnant because you don't know them that much. So your friend level's a bit higher. But they were able to do it because they've got a lot of points on that system. So I kind of jump started through MC Command Center, and I made her into her third trimester because that's pretty much it for now. She is adding more early pregnancy interactions for the next update that she'll be coming out with. I don't know when that will be because she just did the lactation update this month. I think that was public release for April 10th that it came out. And so it normally takes her like a month or two to update the mod, so for the updates to come out. So it should be coming out soon if you're on the Patreon. If you're public version, you might have to wait a little bit. But another thing too, if you're tired of being pregnant in The Sims, if you woohoo with your partner, the chances of them going into labor earlier will become like higher. Like you won't have to wait, those 3 days. You might be pregnant for like 2.5 days, But what I wanted to do is I figured we could do a home birth. So what we'll do is go back to the call obstetrician menu, and it'll bring up this window again. And here's where you can choose which option you want. You can pick any of these. You can even change it the last second. If you change your mind of what you want to do. I've certainly have forgotten to set this when I'm in labor in The Sims, when my Sim's in labor. and I was able to fix it and it was fine and it still works. But we're going to click home birth, and here's where you can choose whether you want to do like a water birth when you're at the house, because you'll need to buy the water birth bed, or like, not the water birth bed, you'll need to buy the tub for the water birth. I cannot speak today. And then just hit choose this option. And if you're reading it and you change your mind, you can always see other options. It'll take you back to that first window. So I'm just going to hit choose option. But because we did choose that, we need to go back into build mode and buy some things, such as a yoga ball. And it should pop up right here. It'll be this one. I made a mistake of buying a small house, but we're just going to have to delete some stuff. We don't need this dining room table. They have a couch. So I'm just gonna set this down, and then we need the water bed. And now we need the water bed. I typed in pool and it should pop up. It's a baby boom birth pool. And I'm just gonna put that in the kitchen because that seems right. I'm just gonna put that right there. We don't need a dining room, we need a pool. But those are some of the options that you can buy if you wanna speed up the labor process. You don't have to, and you can just, wait it out. But I will say, if you're doing a home birth, it's 125 simoleons every hour. I once had a sim that was in labor, and by the end of it, the bill was like $5,000. So I don't know how long she was in labor for, but I will never do that again because I waited it out. I wanted to see how expensive it would be. So, but I think I'm gonna cheat it again and make her in labor because there's really not much to do. So she's in labor now, and the important part of this to make sure that the mod is working correctly, like that it actually works, is clicking the start home birth. You'll click on your sims and these little things will pop up. Click the start home birth, and she should get little lights flashing around her feet. It used to be like the heart thing. If you've ever played with Get to Work at the doctor career, they had like the little the red heart above them. It used to be that, but she changed it to this, and I actually really like that. But to call the midwife over, because you'll need to get a midwife to do the home birth, you just go back into home, and this will pop up right here, and it's the call midwife. You don't want to click on the call obstetrician. You want to click the call midwife and just click it, and they'll come over. Sometimes they come straight away, and other times it takes them a minute to show up. But you normally should be able to see them. Let me zoom out of here and see. Yeah, I don't see them. I don't know where they are. But also, their water will break, and then you get this little puddle around them. But what you can do in the meantime of waiting for your midwife is jump on the yoga ball, and you can exercise. Oh, there she is. She's there. Okay. Oh, I forgot to feed her. She's probably hungry. Paul can cook. We'll just do the serve dinner because we'll make mac and cheese. But they'll also get this. Wait a minute. Hold on. He liked the fruitcake. I'm sorry. I think I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but if you haven't watched them, Sims normally do not like the fruitcakes, and I always try and stray away from the fruitcakes, but this is one of the first times I've had someone like the fruitcakes. Normally they hate it, and then they're all uncomfortable for the day, and it's annoying. But she just so I probably should have taken care of her a little bit better, but it's okay. She gets this little buff of contraction pain, and that's how you know your Sims are contracting, and it'll say 3 hours on there, or however many hours it is. But that's when you probably want to do, if you're trying to speed up your labor, is to just make sure you're being active, like your Sim's being active while she's contracting. And with the midwife, sometimes she used to make food, and then there was an update that kind of, made her a little bit more proactive with your pregnant Sim, who's in labor. But let me take care of her real quick because she's gonna get upset. The other thing you can do is take a shower too, and that'll help them with the not being so uncomfortable anymore. If you wanted to check your dilation, in real life, you have to be 10 centimeters dilated in order to give birth, but you can hit this check on the baby, and it'll basically tell you how you're progressing. But the other thing about having a home birth is there's a potential to where your labor will stall and you'll need an emergency C-section. But to kind of combat that, if you don't want that, you can hit on the midwife and, well, not hit her, but like you can click on the midwife and click on that check on the baby, and it should help like wind that situation down. If you don't want to go to the hospital, if you're like dead set on having a home birth, you can do that, or you can just cheat it. So she's finally getting the baby checked after like, I swear, 20 minutes of just talking. But they'll come out with this little Bluetooth stethoscope, which I find funny. And it'll tell them like if they need to be more active or whatnot. So, and then to check the dilation, you do the same thing. You click on them and hit this button right here. And then they'll sit on the couch. If the thing that annoys me about Sims is they just don't know when to stop talking. Like, they don't know just when to stop. Like, it's a lot to ask of them to just stop. I just need to check the dilation. I'm sure she's not much because she hasn't really been doing much. And they'll find like an open space. They can do it on a bed or a couch. And they'll check the dilation. And then it'll pop up in a few minutes of what it is. I think it's like 2 centimeters. I don't think she really... Oh, I was wrong. Normally I'm right on that stuff. But you can also ask Paul for a back massage. Or like your significant other or whoever is there to accompany you during this process. Oh, and another thing that I forgot to mention, which I probably should have mentioned sooner, but if you're going to the hospital or like anywhere, you should probably ask them to accompany you, which would be under like your friendly bar. And it's right here to ask to accompany childbirth. I forgot to ask him, but it still worked. If they live in the same household as you, it should be fine. But if they don't, I would definitely click that button before you go into labor. But you can also cuddle with your partner in... Okay, thank God. I thought I was going to take, I thought I would have to keep on clicking that. And they'll change it to their bathing suits and do it and get in the thing. That is the cuddle interaction. I think it is very cute. My only thing is I wish that they could get in the water pool by themselves. Like, I wish there was an interaction just for like a single sim to do it. Other than like taking a shower or something like that. Like maybe they could just lay in it without having to have that partner there. Because if you don't have a partner, you can't do it. Unless you're like going into labor, then you can get it. And then the other thing that you can do, which was part of the original mod when it came out, is do breathing exercises. They'll change it to like their workout clothes. But there's a way in like the cheat menu when you shift click them that you can choose to wear own clothes during birth so that they won't just change into like a random outfit, but she'll just sit there and do like kind of like Lamaze, and she'll breathe and it'll help whatever. I'm not sure what it helps, but it helps. So she's tired, so I'm gonna let her sleep for a bit. The other thing to note, like when they're in labor, their needs go down very fast, understandably. So you didn't really miss much in that time frame. I just got her to eat something really quickly and then I put her back to bed because she's exhausted. So she's not sleeping, but that's understandable. But another interaction you can do with your sim is go for a walk, and they'll just kind of walk around the area that they're in, and it kind of helps them, keep in that labor moving, because I am not going to the hospital today. That hospital is depressing. It looks so sad. It also helps their fitness skill too, which is nice. We're going to go ahead and ask to check the dilation again. I'm feeling hopeful for this. I think we're pretty high. I'm not sure what number that is, but we're probably well over 5. If we're not, I'm going to have an issue. Oh, she's 8 centimeters. Okay, that's good. We have 2 more left. So she's close to going into having her baby. But there are a couple cool things to note within the mod at home birth is you can give birth on the bed with your partner. You need your partner for that interaction. You need the partner for the interaction to kind of look right, but if you wanted to do it by yourself, I think you can. The other thing is you can obviously give birth in the little tub. Your sim will go in by themselves, and the midwife will be like by the side of it, and if you have a partner there, they'll also be on like the side of it. Or you can click on the crib and have an unassisted birth. The thing to note about the unassisted birth, which is probably what we're going to do because it's one of the newest birth interactions, is if you click it, they will give birth right where they are. because I saw some videos of Sims giving birth on the stairs because they just clicked it thinking that they would go to the crib or something like that. No, and they were on the stairs, and it looked so weird. It was so weird watching a Sim give birth on the stairs. For some reason, I'm just really tempted to click it again, even though I'm sure that nothing's really changed. She's still uncomfortable, and your Sims will stay uncomfortable until they have the baby. The other thing that you can do is if you don't want to like check the dilation again, you can click on the crib, and she's ready, because this will then become like, it will ungray itself, if that's even a word. Even over here it will too. So now it comes back to it's almost time, so your Sim starts to get a little stressed, a little uncomfortable, and it's especially if there's their first time. They could have like a scared thing too. They could have a scared buff as well if it's their first time. But we're just gonna click unassisted birth, and then I don't want to zoom in too much, but they'll basically do this, and she'll give birth, and then your partner will have a parental like meltdown. I love how he's in the bathroom freaking out about this. Like, he's not even, like, in the living room. He's in the bathroom. But I think this animation, like this animation is about 60 seconds or something like that. So it's not too long. But, and then you'll have your baby. And then I'm just going to randomize the name. Fine, we'll name it Kira. I think that's the name. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then just like click done, and sometimes it'll glitch out, and it is the scariest thing ever. But they'll basically grab the baby. That is that interaction. So I would love to show you guys all the birth animations for it, but that would be way too long. But this is just the newest one that came with the update a few months ago, so I figured that we would just do that. And then your baby should pop back in the bassinet once this interaction is complete. So there they are. And with Growing Together, if you have the Growing Together expansion pack, you can go over here and hit change outfit. We weren't able to do this for the longest time. Babies were like objects, and it was so sad. I've been using this onesie like crazy, and it's this one right here. And they'll change their outfits. So finally they're not in just the base game outfits. Like, they have these little cute onesies and stuff, but you need Growing Together in order to do that. But now it comes to, there's more. We're not done there. I'm going to go back into build mode, and I'll probably get rid of this stuff because that'd be kind of weird if I just left it. And then I typed in, for me, I just type in pump because it's a breast pump, but I'm pretty sure it's called this Milky Way milk pump, which is like the greatest name ever. I love this name so much. And then you just click, obviously you buy it. There was a glitch where you couldn't put it in your inventory, but now you can. They posted an update for that, so you should be able to put it in your inventory. And I'm also going to buy some cookies. The thing about the lactation cookies is your Sims will have a different, like, level of how they produce their milk. Like, some of them will, like, overproduce, and others will, like, underproduce, and, like, others will just be in, like, the middle. And so those lactation cookies will help you. But now that she's had her baby, we should get like a little buff saying ready to nourish, and that will let you know that you can breast pump. But it just adds in a lot more realism to the game. If you do a lot of family gameplay like I do, this is just one of those mods that I can't live without. But you should get this little bottle right here, and then see, $10. And then you can put it in the fridge and click on it, and you can get the milk that way so it doesn't go bad. And I'm not sure exactly. So it says in like 9 hours that it will spoil, but in the fridge, I don't know. I think they last a little bit longer if they're in the fridge. Yeah, this is 6 days and 18 hours. So if you pumped a lot, you just put it in your fridge and do it that way. But if you have a bottle on you, you can feed the breast milk with that little bottle icon. But that is it for this mod review. But thank you all for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's mod review, and comment down your favorite part and if you would ever play with this mod in your Sims 4 game. But with that, I will see you all tomorrow.